So this one's gonna be on Excel, and this is gonna be a basics tutorial. We're gonna go ahead and cover everything. Assuming you're a beginner or you never used it before, a spreadsheet, we'll go ahead and look at everything that we can do for beginners, of course. So the first thing is over here, as we look at this, we got basically what we call a spreadsheet, and we got a ton of different columns. So they're labeled alphabetically in order, and then you got the rows, which are labeled basically by numbers. And if you look at it over here, it says A1. If you click on this one, it'll say A2. So these are the rows and these are the columns, okay? So you got A1, B1, C1, and so on. And all you would do in here is basically you would just go ahead and insert any type of data, whether it's text or numbers, dates, whatever it might be. So if we type anything like a name, then we can go ahead and this will be saved on the cell. Each one of these is called a cell. So this would be cell A1. So Gina is saved in cell A1. If we add another one, Tony is now saved in cell B1, and so on. We can basically add them anywhere. So after files, we have home, and home allows us to be able to do many things. Let's go ahead and just gonna go ahead and go back in, insert Gina in there. So we got a name in here. We want to go ahead and edit it a little bit. So we're gonna by the way, we can actually just drag around these we can go ahead and drag and resize the rows, and we can also, as far as the height, and we can also drag the width, so we can easily resize them. Okay, so in the home, we're going to go ahead and see what options we have. So in here, we can actually change the font size if we want. Say if we want to make this bigger, we can change that to any size we want. So we're going to change that to 20, and we can also change the font itself, the font type. We can increase the font size from here or decrease the font size. We can also make it bold. We can make it italic, underline it, and double underline. You can also do the strike through. Okay, and something you're going to be using a lot is the borders. So what the borders allow us to do is basically, if we click on it, we can create borders. So we're going to create a thick border from basically from A to G. If we want borders in all the cells, we can actually do that. We can choose this one here. This is all borders, and this will give borders to every single cell. We can also change the font of the background in the fill color. So we can change that. And of course, we can also change the text color. Okay, looking at these over here, this is for the alignment. So right now it's like to the left. Okay, now it's centered. Want it to the right, it aligns to the right. Want to bring it right. So we want to align it to the right and to the center or the middle. When it's centered, it's in the middle. So we can align it like that. I think this is probably the best one. And this one to decrease the indent. So you can basically kind of move it a little bit more. You can do some indentation on that. Okay. And to wrap the text, this one is good when you have a lot of text. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what this will do. Okay, so basically this one is really, really long. As you see, basically, as you see this one, it takes a lot of space. So if we do the wrap text, now it's not spread out that much. Now it's actually within the column itself. If we click on it, then we can read it. So that's what the wrap text does. If you want to merge something, basically what the merging means is if you want to go ahead and merge two columns together, and then we're going to merge it, it'll go ahead and merge both of these. Okay, and then of course we can align this one. So now we can see, but these two are now merged. And we can also wrap the text if we want within the two columns that are merged. As far as these here percentages, that's very self-explanatory. Let's say we want 770. Actually, let me change that to just regular number. Okay, so right now it's 70.00. If we do percentage, now it's well, that's the percentage. Uh, let's change that to just 7. Okay, so that's 7.00%. Let's do 7.7. So anyways, that's how you add the percentage. We can actually increase the decimals to add more zeros, or we can decrease, and it'll round it off. So all these are useful for when you have stock sheets and stuff like that. Anything that is requiring numbers, you're definitely gonna be using these quite a bit. So we're not gonna get into the visual stuff right now. It's just basics. One thing that you more than likely wanna get the hang of is the auto sum. Basically, the auto sum allows a summation of many different. It can be rows or columns. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some numbers in here. And then let's say you want to get the sum of these numbers at the bottom over here. So let's say that this is the total column. You can actually use this auto sum, and then it'll go ahead and grab. You can actually change it if you want. So if you don't want it to start at B1, maybe you want it to start at B2, you can actually change that as well. So you can do it like that, and then press enter. And it's going to give you the numbers. It's going to give you the sum of the numbers. And the clear, basically if you want to clear something. So let's say we want to go ahead and clear all this here. We can just click on clear. Clear all actually, and there we go. The sorting filter is going to be a very, very useful one. This is a little bit more advanced actually. This will be useful when you have a lot of different columns with a lot of different numbers or even names or text. It'll allow you to be able to filter through them and sort them. We'll go ahead and look at this one later. Let's go ahead and look at the insert over here. Basically, you can insert many different things such as functions, tables, pivot tables, pictures, and so on. For this one, we're just going to go ahead and look at how to insert a picture. So if you click on it, you can actually browse and be able to choose any picture that you want to insert in there, and then just click insert. Okay, there we go. So now you got a picture within the Excel spreadsheet. And of course, you can make it small if you want. All right, so there we go. We got that image in there. And of course, you can insert shapes as well. If you want to throw an arrow in there somewhere, you can actually do that. And you can always move these around. There's columns you can insert. You can insert pie charts, bar charts, scatter plots, all kind of stuff in here. Hyperlinks if you want. Basically, what a hyperlink allows is if you want to go ahead and insert a website, and somebody can click on this spreadsheet and they can go to the website URL. We'll go ahead and look at all these in the advanced sections. There's many different things in here that you can look at. For example, if you go to the data, you can add many different things in here. We're not going to look at this for right now because they're a little bit more advanced as far as data validation and grouping and all that. But it's definitely something that you want to understand. As far as for the review over here, we can actually add comments. So we can insert comments if we want. So we can create a new comment and we can say, this is a test spreadsheet, and just save it. Okay, and now this comment will be in there. So even if we close this and we click on it over here, we can look at the comment. We can also check for spelling. So let's go ahead and enter something over here. Let's say we want to spell Okay, we can actually check the spelling, see if we misspelled something. Okay, so over here is suggesting that we change David to capital D, David. So we can actually do that, and it's gonna go ahead and change it. It's also suggesting for rot, but actually it's Roth, so we'll go ahead and leave it at that. But of course, it's more useful when you're typing words. So okay, under view, you got the headings and grid lines. So the grid lines, as you see now, they're gone. So it just looks basically white. More than likely, you want the grid lines. And for the headings, if you don't want headings, you can remove that. But we'll go ahead and leave the headings in there. Something that is very useful, especially when you're working with spreadsheets that have stock or any kind of numbers, freeze panes. We'll go ahead and look at that later on, but this is something very, very useful. And basically, and also you can get some help over here if you want. So you can actually contact support, or you can also send some feedback if you want. Also, if you click on the help, so if you click on the help over here and you just type in something like, let's say AutoSum, then you click on the search button, it's going to go ahead and give you some results, and you can read over here to see what it's about. Okay, so let's go back in here and let's go ahead and look at something that is more useful. So we're going to go ahead and create some columns with names on them. So we're going to call this one name or names. We can call this one ages. Okay, we can call this one age. We can call this one telephone and maybe zip code. Okay, so we can just highlight all the columns they want to go ahead and apply changes to. So we're going to go ahead and increase the font size to 18. So all of these will now be 18. Also, while all these are highlighted, if I want to go ahead and make them wider all at once, we can actually do that by just grabbing one, dragging that one. Actually, we're gonna do this here. So now to go ahead and automatically adjust the width for all of them. So now let's go ahead and look at how to be able to add, like, let's say telephone numbers. More than likely, you're gonna enter telephone numbers, but you don't want to have to do this. Let's say, well, I'm in Houston, so let's say 713, and then have to put that hyphen or whatever it's called, and then do this, and then having to do this. Like, you just want it to be formatted in a way where you just enter the numbers and it'll automatically format it. So that's where formatting will come in handy. So what we can do is, since this column is going to be for nothing but telephone numbers, we can actually highlight all this, and we can go to okay, so if we go to special over here, we can choose something like phone numbers. Okay, and we click OK. And now let's go ahead and enter something. So I'm gonna do 281-552-7865. I'm gonna go ahead and press enter. So now as you see, the format is differently. So I didn't enter none of this, it automatically did it. And that's something that is very useful. So now you can go ahead and enter the rest of the phone numbers. So let's say 713-786-45, something like that. And from now on, they will all have that formatting. Okay, let's go ahead and create another one. Let's say you want to go ahead and enter their social security. So we'll create one over here, and obviously want to go ahead and create a format for that. So let's highlight all the columns, and let's go to number formatting and go to special again, and we have one for social security, so we can just click on that. And now we can just type in the social security numbers. Of course, these are all fake, so we'll do 56376, and then that's it. So as you see, it automatically knows where to add that hyphen. So that's a easy way to be able to format some of these columns. That way it's easier. You don't have to keep entering all these things. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. This is the first video. Next video, we'll go ahead and look at how to be able to start creating formulas and like subtotals and things like that to be able to make the spreadsheets more functional. So that's it for now. Bye.